There's no animal products in it. It's simply herbs. And once we get going, we will, if the business gets beyond the capacity of the people that we have in South India to manufacture the medicine, or anyway, at any rate, we will ship it in bulk form. So it won't be packaged for sale. So we won't have to pay import duties, or it won't be recognized as medicine. It'll simply be herbal products or plant products. In that way, we don't have to get into the whole issue, the regulatory issue of importing medicine, see, which is a very thorny issue. We want to avoid that completely we're not importing medicine, we're importing simply herbs, plant materials. And then it's packaged in the US or in Canada or wherever it's going to be sold. So we already figured out, how to avoid the problem. And the other thing is, longer term, the problem is that the multinational pharmaceutical corporations are patenting and copywriting natural herbal remedies and then making them proprietary. So what we're going to do, part of our whole program, is to publish the information about these traditional herbal cures very widely on the internet. And in that way, there will always be prior art to prevent any move to patent or privatize these herbal remedies. We want to keep them in the public domain. And so one of the interesting things about our source, the guy that we're working with there, is that he is open to this process of disclosing the actual formulas of the medicine. You see, this is a very, very important aspect, and we won't do it unless this program is in place. We're not going to do the deal, we're not going to do the business unless the formula of the medicine is public knowledge. You see, that prevents us from getting in the bind of being viewed as a competitor by the drug corporations. Because we're not a competitor, this knowledge is public. See, it's not a secret thing, it's not a proprietary thing, it's not a private thing. So we're going to make, just like all of our other material, we're going to make the information about how to make these medicines public knowledge, open source.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Well, we don't want these rascals to do what they've done already with. They tried to copyright. What was it? not Hing. No, they tried to copyright neem. Can you imagine this? Copyright neem. How are you going to copyright a tree?
Go to every tree and stamp their name on it.
It's nonsense. It's just total nonsense. But no, the use of the neem, whatever the active ingredient is in the neem, as a medicine. Some rascal corporation has, and they destroyed. Kapila Dev was telling me they destroyed the indigenous medicine business in Peru. That by Peru they got Peru to sign this treaty. The rascal drug companies, and of course, U.S. and EU are behind this big time. They signed some treaty that they would basically only distribute copyrighted medicines. And so they actually made it illegal to sell native medicines. I mean, this is going on over the world, and it's a very dangerous thing. This new HR 875 bill before Congress now is very, very dangerous, because it's the so-called food safety bill. And basically what it means is that any food which is not grown according to commercial, industrial standards is deemed unsafe. If it's not full of of genetically modified organisms and herbicides and pesticides and all this crap. They're basically going to outlaw organic gardening is what they're going to do. So it's a very, very dangerous law. And if you live in the U.S., write your congressman, stop it. There's big agribusiness, and these same people who are doing the genetic modification of different organisms are sponsoring this bill. The husband of the congresswoman who introduced the bill works for Monsanto. Okay, does that tell you something? So these rascals, they're willing to destroy the world for their own profit. So we want to counteract that. We want to create a space where people with ethics, people with honesty can thrive. We want to create a community for honest people. So we want to do that in somewhere where we're out of reach of these rascals. I mean, they're introducing Chile is pretty smart. They were against this treaty. They didn't sign it. Peru and some other South American countries signed it. Chile didn't sign it. They wouldn't ratify it. So, you know, Chile is holding out, but, you know, who knows how long they're going to be able to hold out. I'll give it another couple of years. We want to get out of here. We want to go someplace that's wild enough and that's viewed as unimportant enough that nobody's going to try to regulate it. Just stay like under the radar. But of course, we still need to have our connection to the internet. So interestingly enough, South India, they have this. They have good wireless internet, WiMAX. They're developing or implementing WiMAX, which is the same system as they're going to put in here. And also the land is very cheap, it's fertile, and there's a very strong ancient tradition of organic agriculture there that we can just plug right into. And also the majority of the people there are Vaishnavas. We could buy a piece of land in a village where everybody is worshiping Lord Vishnu, or even Lord Nrsingadev. Haribol. So that would be so much fun, wouldn't it?
They have Ahovalam in South India and Andhra Pradesh. They have like these.
Don't mumble.
Okay.
I was just saying that in Ahovalam, in Andhra Pradesh, also in South India, they have like, I think 8 Nrsingadev temples all in like the same area. So there's definitely a big cult of Nrsingadev in South India.
Yeah. But we like to worship Lord Nrsinga in his happy mood. Some devotees, they worship Ugra Nrsinga when he's angry.
Ripping.
Yeah, ripping and tearing. And this is a little bit dangerous. When the ISKCON devotees, you know, they wanted to worship this deity of Ugra Nrsinga. And they had this guy in South India carve him, you know. And even before the deity was finished, his shop almost burnt down because the fires were just starting like automatically. And so he was saying, come down here and get your Nrsingadev before he burns down my whole house. Get him out of here. And I was in one village. We were traveling on Padayatra from Hyderabad to the southwest. And we went through this one place that looked like it had got hit by an atomic bomb. I mean, it was just devastated. Nothing would grow there. It was like finished. And there was remnants of the only structure still standing was an ancient temple. You know, the black stones, the way they make, you know, it looked almost like Stonehenge, these big black stones and everything. was very impressive. So we camped nearby there, and while we were there, a caravan came through. I mean, a caravan with buffaloes and camels and horses and carrying stuff. You know, we were way out in the country. So these guys came, and they were camping nearby. So we went over there and talked to them. And yeah, I think we invited them for prasadam or something. And then, so we asked them, what is this place? What happened here? What's the history? They told us this whole story, that there was a king, very pious king, and he installed Nrsimhadev, Ugra Nrsimhadev. And he was, worshiping him very nicely, offering, like 12 offerings a day and so on, worship very nicely. And then his son, after this king left this world, his son turned out